pro-life protest on Ben White in Austin at the Planned Parenthood. And what is your name?
Hi, I'm Kay.
Kay?
Uh-huh.
That's my mom's name. K-A-Y?
Yeah.
K-A-Y? Okay, cool. Why are you here today?
I'm here because I heard Owen announce that they were going to do this, and it happened to be a great day for me, so I drove over and decided to see what it's all about. I've not been to something like this before.
So, do you consider yourself pro-life?
I do. Yes, I have 4 boys.
Oh, wow. Have you ever, like, you mind me asking, have you ever had an abortion, or have you always been pro-life?
I have not always been pro-life. Actually, I was raised with a belief that human life had no value.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't until in my early 20s that I realized that that was a big fat lie.
What made you realize that? Can I go over here? Let me see if I can get you in the
It was just, I was mature, and I heard another point of view. Because I was raised with one point of view, and all of a sudden I heard a different point of view, and I said, hey, that makes sense.
Did you see any pictures or anything like that?
You know, I didn't, but I have since, yeah. Of like the fetuses in the little jars at the Body Works. Yes, I have. I saw, they had a gruesome thing on the InfoWars last night of a little aborted fetus, fully developed.
You know, which is really interesting. I guess I never really thought about it, you know? I think there are a lot of people that they just kind of go about with the pro-choice philosophy in their head without really thinking about it, you know? Thank God I've never had an abortion. I've had many friends that have, and I don't judge them at all for doing so. I think a lot of women aren't educated. A lot of people in general aren't educated, but there's another way.
Well, you know, but the education system today teaches you a whole different mindset.
Oh yeah.
That you walk away from even high school into college believing that life has no value, that you're only out for yourself, that
What's that? Oh yeah.
You're the only one that is important.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in your needs, that's all that matters. And it's with the onset of birth control that women got into the promiscuity realm, like guys, because all we had to do was either take birth control or go get an abortion.
Yeah.
And we could go out and party all we want. Before birth control, we had a baby that we had to take care of forever. It's a life commitment. If you adopted, because that's what my friends did, they adopted the kids out. And I think that was just heart-wrenching for my girlfriends to actually have to say goodbye, because they take that baby. You don't even get to hold the baby.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like, I'm not a mom. I love children, but I can only imagine what it's like to have to give that baby up. But there's also other methods, like the Billings method. Have you heard of that?
The Billings?
Billings. It's like the rhythm method. Like they're natural forms of birth control where you're not on the pill and you're not.
You take your temperature.
Yeah, you take your temperature and you measure, gauge the consistency of the what do you call it? The discharge.
Vaginal fluid?
Vaginal fluid or vaginal discharge. And I had a girlfriend that did that in college, and she was telling me about it. I was like, that just sounded so bizarre to me. But as I've gotten older, and down the line, I've like, what am I trying to say? Down the line, I've
Her method failed?
No.
The train pulled out?
No.
The train failed?
Actually worked. They have a pretty high success rate. But no, like, from what I understand, two pull and praise, like, actually have a high success rate. But no, I've learned that, like, the Billings method actually has a high percentage. It's a really good way to either get pregnant or not get pregnant.
Wait a minute, it can't be one or the other.
Yeah, it can. You can if you know your chart, right?
Yeah.
You can plan
to
have
get
sex.
to get
if you
pregnant.
want to have a child, and then if you don't want to have a child, you know when to have sex.
I've not heard of it. I don't know the success rate. No,
it's 98%.
I know the rhythm method.
Yeah, Billings is even supposed to be better. It's like 98%.
Well, I guess it's more scientific, huh?
You know, I
Because
don't,
you're
I don't really
looking at
know.
the viscosity of your vaginal fluid.
There's
I mean,
a
that's
few more
gotta be-
steps, I think, in the Billings method. It's similar, but there's some differences. I don't really know the exact differences.
Okay.
But there are, like, as far as I know, compared to the rhythm method, the Billings method is actually better. It's actually better successful, and it's natural. And I think there's complications with even birth control. Like I was on birth control, and it made me crazy for some why.
Right. And then there's RU488.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
the morning after pill.
Yeah.
And there's
Still
there's the you insert something. What is it in your
IUD?
arm? No, in your arm.
Oh yeah.
There's that.
I'm not doing that.
You know, but you know.
But see the hormonal stuff, right? Because I think when you do that with your arm, it lets hormones off a little bit.
Right, it's a time release
Yeah,
kind of
time
thing.
release, which is not really. I don't think that's good either. Then you have the Depo-Provera shot.
Yeah, I think it that goes. I mean, I think it has the possibility of going to sterilization.
Yeah.
You
Even
know,
birth control.
where you the IUD. You run the risk of damaging the uterus, and then you can't have children.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but you have to value life, and that's pretty much what this is all about. This, you got to value life.
Yeah.
People don't want you to, though. That's the sad part. They don't want to value the family. They don't want to value children. They don't. I was watching the Kilauea volcano in Hawaii.
Oh yeah.
And it's a news conference, and the parents are upset because the school will tell the teachers and the parents, all right, send your kids to school, but send a mask. So they send the mask, and then they have to keep the doors closed and the windows shut, and it's stifling hot. They don't have air conditioning. The ash still gets in the building. And so then they say, well, send the kids out to play. Well, then the kids get asthma because they're breathing in the ash. And it makes their health worse. And there was a doctor at this conference, and she didn't have a lot of good answers for the concerns of those parents. And I found it a little bit disturbing that she's a medical doctor who's researched asthma, who's an island native, and she really didn't seem to really care a whole lot about the kids.
You know, I just think we're living in a society too where people. Sorry, I have to get a little closer for sound. We're living in a society too where people just kind of do things by rote and they don't really think about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even doctors, I think, do the worst. You know what I mean? They're trained to memorize, regurgitate information. They don't really have any solid critical thinking skills.
Right. Well, and then your average Joe, right, on the street, we're distracted. We're busy.
Yeah.
And-
Do research this stuff.
Right. We don't have time to do that. It's difficult. You know, and some folks don't know where to start. They wouldn't know, that you can go to Google Scholar and look at actual academic, peer-reviewed reports.
Well, people don't think they have the right to.
Oh, please.
That's what it is. You know what I mean?
Really? They don't,
Yeah.
really?
Because even like I do a lot of kind of my week with a lot of the stuff began with researching the atrocities of vaccines.
Yeah,
so
right.
I knew that I had access to PubMed and even other forums and places where doctors I can ask questions if I didn't know. But people would come back to me and say, "Oh, well, you don't even like how can you read that stuff? How do you know?" I'm like, I can read. Like, what do you mean I can't read this stuff? I
Well,
know how to read, but I think because if you're not, people think that you have to have a degree in order to understand and read this stuff, which is public information.
Well, there are some things that a degree helps with because then you understand the ethos
Well-
of how the paper was written, and who wrote the paper. Was it the manufacturer of the medication
but
that
you-
wrote the paper that
But you can
sponsored
find that
it?
out without a degree.
You can, but to understand was it written in a persuasive way? Was it written with emotional words to persuade you that way? Was it, it's just how do they
But then
want to
you learn
persuade people?
persuasive arguments and stuff. Like you still don't need a degree.
You don't, but once you recognize,
And I
that's
learned
that's
that
an
stuff on my own. I went to college. I was a teacher. I didn't learn that stuff.
Okay. Well, and then
I had to teach that.
and when you're looking at medical research, the other thing is to have a medical dictionary
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sure.
and look up those words. They're 24 characters long, but you just look it up and break
And
it
they're
down.
usually usually like they're usually like compounders. Not compounders, prefixes and suffixes. So
Right,
you know the bits of the words, even if it's a long word.
Right.
you can figure out-
Cardiovascular is
Yeah.
what
Heart.
your heart and your blood vessels. Yeah.
So anyway, I'm gonna let you get back to your side.
Thank you.
I'm gonna see if I
Nice talking to you.
I was wondering if you're gonna show up. Always, but
Yeah, I want to
Plenty of
like.
people here
I gotta
now.
do something.
Yeah, I want to like. Hold on. I want to interview some guys. You're a guy.
I self-identify as such.
May I interview you for my channel?
Sure. How do you do? My name's Patrick.
Hi, I'm Christine. Nice to meet you.
Hey, Christine.
Christine. with a G. Okay,
Christine.
I'm gonna use English.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Lighting and everything. How do you do?
Hold on. I'm trying to get. I don't know if I had lighting. This is fine. I guess.
Here. Okay.
This is gonna have to do. Actually. So, as a man, why are you here today? I don't care. I just want to know because a lot of people will say, "Oh, you're not gonna get pregnant, and you're a man. So why do you care? So why do you care?" I have England.
I care about kids. I don't want them murdered. So I care.
You care?
Yeah. I mean, I do. I mean, I'm not for like a whole like blanket ban on abortion. I think there's at least one case where I could see an exception being made, but
What do you think about men and them not really having a say-so in whether a woman aborts a baby or not?
I think it's kind of unfair because men are half the equation of the creation process. So they have a stake in it. There's some, I mean, you could say that they have a partial, I'm going to use this word gingerly, an ownership right, if you will. Because they are creating co-jointly with another person to create a child. So I feel like there's some say in that.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see women get pregnant without sperm. That'd be great. That'd be interesting.
Can they do that yet?
No.
Oh, well,
You can go to a sperm bank and you're still needing sperm. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So it's like men can't like fertilize anything else but an egg.
Love you, bro. See y'all.
But an egg, and women, can't get pregnant. I mean, without sperm.
right.
so
That's
men-
the way the biology works.
I think
Yeah.
men grieve as well. I date a guy, and his girlfriend before me had an abortion. He like begged her not to do it, and I think it really messed him up. And I think there are a lot of men too that do think
I mean, it's not an easy decision to come to, and yeah, it hurts.
what?
It hurts.
Yeah,
There's some feelings there. It hurts.
yeah.
It is a tough decision.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, I've never been in that situation, but I would hate to have to be in that situation, and just knowing another couple of guy friends who've gone through the same thing. Never really thought about men grieving and men feeling like cast aside because they don't have a decision. Let me get that to you next.
Well, and see, that's what I feel. There is a gross neglect, I would say, about men's issues in general, and there needs to be a little bit more awareness of that.
Yeah.
And it's not. And I feel like there could be some better exposure on certain men's issues because
Were you always pro-life? Yeah?
yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah?
I'd say so.
Okay.
Because, I mean, the alternative is death, and that sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'd say life in general is a positive. Existence in general is a positive. And yeah, sure, that's a judgment call. That's just my opinion. I would rather have existence than non-existence, even if it's the crummiest existence there is.
You think so? There's some people that would argue, though, it's better to abort a child than to give it a criminal existence. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Okay, no, I mean, there's that, but I mean, even the most beautiful flowers grow out of a pot of dirt. I mean, It's all about what they choose to make with the chance that they have. If you also consider, the grand scheme of the big picture of things, how astronomically improbable it is that life exists in the first place. It's a gift. It's a miracle, and it's one that should be. It ought to be protected.
Yeah.
And again, it's always trying to find that medium ground. I understand, like, if a woman doesn't want a child growing in her body, okay, you have a right to evict it, but you don't have a right to murder it. So I want to try and find that happy medium ground between those two things. And it's one of the reasons why I would hope that pro-life groups could crowdfund medical science to increase the date of viability. It would be nice if you could take a child out at 2 weeks or less and put it in artificial incubation and bring it to term. If medical science could allow for that to happen, I think we could square the circle on this issue and make it work.
Well, I think that there are issues with that because the baby still needs to be attached to the mother for a certain amount of time to get certain, nutrients and, just like breast milk is very important and things like that. So I think that, I don't even think that, for me, that's not really a possibility because, what was I going to say? It's not really a possibility. I just kind of going down that route a little bit and understanding that being able to house a fetus in an incubator is not going to lead to the most healthy fetus. Brain damage and other stuff, and it's not. I don't think that's for me. I don't think that's.
Well, perhaps not yet, but that doesn't mean we should stop trying.
Not upset.
We can get better at it.
Disagree.
We can get better at it.
Yeah, I don't think
because that's science. That's progress.
Well, science though, there's natural science, and then there's science that is very.
Well, I'll just tell you this.
How do I say? It's kind of like contrived. It's very. I don't think that's. What am I trying to say?
So, but what do you think about this? What's your biggest problem with Planned Parenthood?
I think that we're too complex, and I don't think that as biological systems, and I don't think that technical science is ever going to be able to replicate the intricacies and the miracle of what the human body is going to do. I think they might be able to do that with babies, but I don't think they'll ever be able to have a healthy baby. I don't think
do you mean in terms of nutritional intake and these sorts of things?
Yeah, you can't get that from, like, even if you're injecting it into somebody, you can't get that from, like, IV fluids or vaccines or any of that.
Planned Parenthood, 7.5 now with
to a certain point, I just don't think, just my research and stuff that I've done, I don't think that, they still have it, they have these artificial wombs that they're trying to create in order to do something like what you were saying. Mm-hmm. But even the people that are creating it still would say that they haven't even come close. They have no idea, and they still think that maybe they won't even be able to come close to replicating what the human body can do.
I think there is something to that because there's always been
because even if you make a robot, like if you make a really good, like they look really similar to humans, it's still going to be a robot. It's missing the soul. It's missing other things. Like they can come close, but it'll never be a human being.
Oh, that's most definitely. There's always been. You're probably familiar with whether breast milk or formula, right? And how breast milk is, like, hands down always better than formula.
Yeah.
But maybe it's because they can't really get the formula right. I question whether or not we can.
It's not breast milk.
But that's the thing. I mean, I really do. I really, at this point of our understanding of, like, molecular science, can we really not take breast milk, put it in a lab, and, like, really deconstruct all the different components of breast milk, and then not find an adequate way to synthesize that?
No, I don't think so. You can come close, but it won't be it'll be something else. It won't be breast milk. Like you said, formula. Yeah, but it's formula, and it's not because the breast milk too. It's getting antibodies from the mother. It's getting things from the mother. You have to. It's the way that it's formulated. It's not. You can't synthesize it in the lab. I don't think that. I don't think they'll ever come close. I mean, can you synthesize a tree? Can you synthesize grass? You can make an artificial tree. You can maybe splice some things together to some, I don't know, seeds together to make another type of tree, but you can never like artificially make a tree or grass or soil. I mean, you can, there is, but it's going to be something else. You can never. I don't think you can ever truly replicate it. That's just, you can come close, you can get something, but no, I don't think so.
Well, you might be right on that. I think they should at least keep trying, though.
Okay.
Because again, I would
You're
really
very
like. I want them to
optimistic.
figure it out so that this doesn't have to be a conflict. I want this to be where we can still preserve life, but still respect the body of women.
Okay.
I want to square the circle. I think we can eventually find our way out of this problem.
Okay.
And I really want us to.
Well, that's nice of you. I appreciate that.
Oh,
I appreciate
music.
your optimism.
Yeah. Anytime.
I got it. I thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Have a
Wonderful talking to you.
One more time, all we are saying is give kids a chance. Shut down Planned Parenthood. Veterans.
That was it. There's just-
All right then. May I ask you where you're on with this whole thing? What's your? Can I ask you that?
I'm mostly pro-life. I'm not for blanket abortions, but I think that I was talking with related with OK that women need to be more empowered about how to naturally understand their bodies and learn how to do birth control themselves. I'm not really for birth control. I mean, I don't think it should be banned or anything. I personally don't take it anymore. I think synthetic hormones and stuff ultimately mess women up, even if it's not in the now like it did me and like it turned me into a crazy person. Down the line, there's so many complications. I was telling somebody about the rhythm method and the Billings method. Have you heard about that?
I'm not, but I can kind of guess it's about natural cycles and.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, so the Billings
dig it.
method, like I want women to be more empowered about how to know their natural rhythms and stuff in order to be able to decide, because the Billings method has a really high success rate, like a 98% success rate.
Cool.
And you can, when knowing and charting your cycle, and you measure, gauge the thickness of your vaginal fluid, and you also like chart your period. And there's some other steps I'm missing, I know. Take your temperature, which is part of the rhythm method. But then I think there's more steps to the Billings. Anyway, you can basically figure out when to have a baby if you want to conceive, when the best time to have sex is to conceive, and then when the best time not to have sex is if you don't want to conceive. And to me, like that's great. Like but a lot of people don't even know that. They don't even know that they have other options other than, the birth control pill or Depo-Provera or the IUD.
Right.
Which all causes health complications down the line. And I think it's one of the main factors why a lot of women have trouble conceiving later when they want to have a child naturally, because they've taken all these hormones and it's messed up their cycles. So, I mean, it's interesting. My ex-boyfriend he was an anomaly because he was atheist, but he was like hardcore pro-life. So by virtue of dating him, we had this talk about I was like, well, I'm not doing birth control. He's like, well, we gotta do something. Either, don't want to do puns all the time. So then I start looking into like the Billings method and stuff like that. But he honestly, interestingly enough, turned me on to a lot of pro-life stuff. And up until that point, I guess I just never really thought about it. I think we go through life doing things, never really thinking about stuff. So I never really thought about it either way. I just thought that if I did get pregnant and I didn't want the child, that I just could go get an abortion. But I never thought about it up until in time I had to, when I was dating him, and we had to figure out the solution to our sex slave.
Your sex life. Yeah, it's gotta figure that
Yeah,
out.
but I respect him so much, and I'm very grateful for him turning me on to a lot of this information. So, anyway. Yeah. All right, yeah.
I would probably say, like, after studying the issue and looking at it a lot of different angles, consulting with my wife about it, and I mean, honestly, I think like probably the only exception I could carve out for abortion is if the life of the mother is in a clear and present danger, because at that point it becomes self-defense, and I get that. Outside
Which
of that,
is very
though.
rare, and it's also very questionable.
Oh, I know. It is a very rare occurrence. It definitely is, and I would certainly want there to be more than one opinion on that. But I can see, like, if you're put in that case where it's the mother or the baby.
And sometimes, you know, the mother
Sorry.
will opt to let the child live. And,
Yeah, and that can be a choice too.
yeah.
That's I'm pro-choice in that regard. I like choices. Yeah. So that's a good one. But yeah, all the rest of it, and I don't know. I find that historically speaking, and then even into the present with their policies on organ trafficking and what, I feel like Planned Parenthood has got a lot to answer for.
Yeah, I mean, I also.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were going to take it there, but I will take it there too. It's a
Okay.
business, you know. They use the babies for scientific research, which some can argue is good, but I don't think it's good. I think a lot of the stuff they use the research for is actually regressing, you know, humankind. Like they use aborted fetal tissue in vaccines, and the more the fetal cells replicate, they become tumorigenic. So it's not healthy. You know, it's causing a lot of other health complications as well. So, you know, it's a business for them. I really don't think that they have they really care. I think the people in the lower levels that are working at Planned Parenthood care, like I think they think they're doing a good thing. I think there are people that are higher up that understand what they're doing and they don't care, you know.
Yeah, and the principles of its origin and foundation by Margaret Sanger are also very questionable, and that's not by contemporary standards.
You're very nice. Yeah, you're like very questionable. I would just say it's outright genocide.
Oh, all right, then.
You're like very questionable.
I try to be diplomatic and
I know, I
tactful.
see.
I
There you
know,
are. I
but
appreciate that.
but I mean, and it's not objectionable by
Racist
modern
bitch.
standards.
No,
I mean,
I'm
we're not
just
talking. I mean, we're not talking about, you know, oh, a woman who called them, you know, Negroes or colored because that was the parlance at the time, and we see that objectionable here in the 21st century. No. This is a lady who wanted to commit genocide against a group of people.
The worst races are the ones that smile in your face and pretend to be your friends. They cause the most damage. You know, I'd rather have somebody call me a nigger to my face and, you know where they stand and pretend to be my friend and move into my neighborhood and, you know, try and genocide my race. You know?
Yeah. So I wish they would answer for that in some way. I mean, it is. I can say that it's in the past, but if that's the lady that you keep offering awards for, Margaret Sanger Award every year, you really need to double check what she actually said and what she actually stood for before handing something like that out.
Yeah, most people won't do that with anybody they support. Unfortunately, but
So
all right, I'm gonna move on. Thank
once
you
again,
so much.
excellent talking to you.
Thank you. You too.
Enjoy your day.
Family life and things
Can I
like that.
interview you? Can I interview you too? I'll probably get her first.
What's that?
Can I interview you too?
Yeah,
Both
sure.
of you, but I mean individually.
Oh,
but
no, go ahead. Ladies first.
Am I okay?
Yeah.
What do you think about this sign first?
More blacks are aborted than any other race. It's true. It's true. What's your name?
Caitlin.
Huh?
Caitlin.
I'm Verstine. Nice
Hi,
to meet you.
Christina. Nice to meet
Verstine.
you. What was it?
Verstine?
Oh, Verstine. Verstine with a V?
Yeah, yeah.
Verstine. Okay, I got it. There's a lot of noise.
No, I know. I hope the sound isn't messed up here, but we'll see. Anyway, what was I gonna say? My dad would say when I'm from LA and I grew up in South Central LA.
Okay.
My dad would say when I was younger, you know, he's made remarks and be like, why are all the Planned Parenthoods in like the black neighborhoods and the Latino neighborhoods, like the lower income neighborhoods? And as a kid, it just kind of like went over my head. I didn't really, I mean, I was like, he's right. So I don't see them in like Beverly Hills or Bel Air or
Right.
Brentwood or any of those places.
that in Europe.
But I didn't really know what he was trying to say. You know, like he was telling me that's in like 12, 13 years old.
Right.
And he goes, yeah, he goes, I think there's something to that. He would tell me, he goes, I think that they're trying to exterminate blacks. And I'm just like, okay, whatever, Dad, you know.
Right.
But now that I'm older, I totally see what he was right. You know, I see what I see what he was trying to say.
What they're doing. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Single
obviously,
mothers.
huh?
Single mothers taking away the dads, everything. I mean, it's in every race, but it's horrible.
Yeah. Well, so why are you pro-life?
So.
Or are you pro-life?
I am pro-life. Are you pro-life?
I am. I was saying mostly, but I don't. Yes. Okay. I'm not. Yes, I am. But I was just thinking. I don't know if it should be banned outright. I'm still a little bit on the fence, but I wouldn't do it myself.
Okay.
And I don't. But I don't judge any of my friends that have done it.
Okay.
Because I was talking to a lady over there saying I think that we go through life doing things without really thinking about stuff, and I think that women are so, or society is just so brainwashed to just be like, oh, if you get pregnant, get an abortion, you know, and that's like the only option that we have.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm just curious, so have you always been pro-life?
Not always, to be honest. So I believed a lot of lies with my body, my choice, thinking it was my body, my choice, not realizing it's a completely separate body. And now that I do realize that, I've connected mind, body, and spirit. I take a lot of InfoWars supplements, which have really helped. And I mean, it's just, we're just a vessel for the womb, and it's not fair that that's their only way children can come out, and women are taking that away from them. And there's arguments like quality of life, but you can't argue that. What kind of quality of you have no idea what kind of quality of life the baby's gonna have. The only time that it would be okay is if the mother's life's in danger, and that would be saving the mom. It would be killing the baby.
And I was saying a lot of times the mothers opt to save the child instead if they have to choose between the two.
Which would be me, but
Yeah.
I could ban that for other women because that'd be the only thing. But it's our government was founded on life, liberty, and property, and protecting it. A baby's a life, unborn or born. It's a life, and murder is not okay. And I mean, really, our bodies as women aren't even our bodies; they're temples of God. And I don't think he'd really be okay with us committing murder in his temple. And it's just, I mean, they have, after like 2 weeks, they might even have a different blood type than ours, and they have a different heartbeat, and they start developing their brain, and it's just, I don't know how people can look at that and still think that it's not a life. It's, and what's to say that me a week in the womb is less significant than I am today? There's no difference. It's just, I think it's really important. It's our government's job to protect life, and I think that's what we should do.
Yeah, I really don't think the government should be involved in it.
Absolutely.
That's my big thing too. People get mad at like, oh, like Trump and the governments are trying to take away our rights. I'm just like, well, if you're pro-life, I don't think you should use your money to pay for abortion.
Exactly.
So if you want to have it, then do it like you're responsible for it and do it yourself. Don't like depend on other people's tax dollars to kill your baby.
Which is absolutely, and that's a start. Absolutely. There's absolutely no way it should be funded by a government. That's insane. That blows my mind. Especially when we have the First Amendment. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, cool. Well, nice talking to you.
You too, Christine. Go ahead.
Caitlin, right?
Yes.
Okay. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Am I in it? Or how do I look
I
at
think
you?
you're good. Let me see. Could you turn this way?
Yes. I don't know what you're doing. All right, taking a
How are
picture,
you?
filming. Oh, no, I'm good. How are you?
What's your name?
My name's Sam.
I'm Christine. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you,
Sam,
Christine.
You got the Joe Obama. Death
Oh, yeah, this is a
shit.
classic. That's a classic.
Racist, dude. That's super racist.
That's what they say, but they also call me racist, so I don't know what to tell you. But I was actually even at a Jordan Peterson speech last night. So
He was here?
yeah, so that was like a Nazi
No!
meeting. That's like a Nazi meeting.
He was here.
Oh, he was
Where
great.
Was he?
It was him and Dave Rubin. Dave Rubin opened.
Will at UT?
No, at ACL, Austin City Limits. It was fat. It was so dope. It was
How
tight.
did you know? Okay.
No, I get this.
I'm always missing the
I was in the nosebleed sections, which is not bad
How
at
did you
Austin
find
City
out
Limits.
about it?
Actually, they were probably talking about it on InfoWars, or
I don't watch
was just
every
being
day.
I might have just been a nerd and been like, I wonder if Jordan is doing a tour, and I saw he was coming to Austin. But this was in March. I bought the tickets in March. The speech was last night. It was really good. It was really good. But like I said, I was even in the nosebleed section, so probably you had to buy him in January or
Yeah,
February.
he's epic though. He's a legend.
Yeah, he
He's
was
epic.
legend.
I mean, I hope I get to see him speak in my lifetime.
Yeah, he's a really good guy. Dave Rubin was funny. It was a really good audience. They were talking about how Dave Rubin said it's like we're a bunch of refugees because in the middle of the bluest city in Texas, you know, it's all us, and I was wearing my Make America Great Again hat. So anyway, it was good.
I know, man. Anytime I just got an NRA cap. I joined the NRA, and I'm just like.
Wait, what's that? Didn't hear you.
NRA?
No, I didn't hear what you said.
I said I joined the NRA.
Oh, okay.
So, like, it's like if I want to wear that hat out, I have to decide how many fights I want to get in that day. You know what I mean?
Oh, is
You know
it a
what I
nice
mean?
hat?
It's an NRA cap. It's
Oh.
just like it says NRA on it. But you know,
Yeah.
people here are so, you know, so
Ah, that's a bummer. Oh, you live here.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
You don't live here?
I live in San Marcos, so
Okay.
it's a little bit less like in your face
Dude,
because
Austin,
it's
man.
still outside of Austin, so people aren't so crazy about it.
I've been here for years. I'm finally starting to make friends. It's been really hard.
Oh,
And
but
I'm usually really outgoing, but just because I don't want to play the game and be like,
no, but that's smart because you just never know, especially being like conservative these days. You just don't know what kind of people we might get involved with, but it's smart and
well, it is interesting because I usually like wear have the InfoWars shirt with the cat beach.
you don't work for InfoWars?
No.
Oh,
I just came out to support, but I have my own channel, and I wanted to just get some footage while I was out here.
yeah, for sure.
So, anyway, what was I gonna say? I wore the Kathy Griffin one. She has the head.
Oh yeah.
CNN terrorist.
Yeah.
I have that shirt.
You have that one?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I don't think I bought that one. I had the rape one. No Clinton.
So I have that one, and like,
Oh, you can't wear that around here, is what you're saying.
well, I have, and I always forget that I have it on. And then when people give me like looks and stuff, I'm like, why are they looking? I'm like, oh, I have this shirt on. But also, I have had people come up to me and friend me because I have the shirt on.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
in
what's-
Whole Foods, I wear that to Whole Foods. I'm not
That's the
faking.
best
I
place
just
to
because
wear.
it's a comfortable shirt, and I was like working out, and I just threw it on.
Yeah.
And then I was at Whole Foods, and this guy comes up to me. We ended up becoming friends with that, and other people just kind of look at me dirty, and I'm just like, oh, I have a shirt.
That is so hilarious. That's the perfect shirt to wear to Whole Foods right there. So, and this is my, rock and roll political shirt too. So, InfoWars got a lot of them. They're really good about that.
Shirts and stuff. So, what was I gonna say? Are you
Pro-life.
pro-life?
Beat you to it. Well, yeah, definitely.
Have you always been pro-life?
Mostly, except for throughout my life, especially as a teenager, I lean more left or liberal as far as like supporting abortion rights as they were. I'm older now. I mean, I was born in '85, so I guess I even believe that if it ever got so much, I heard you talking with that girl that they banned abortion, that all the abortions would suddenly be done in back alleys, and it's not really that way. Sort of that same myth that if we got rid of Obamacare, that people would just be dying in the streets. I mean, that just doesn't happen in America because we have maybe an overabundance of resources, or however you want to look at it. But people are not just going to be having abortions, done at home or in a back alley. But that's even if you're just talking about abolishing, abortion, like they had in Ireland, like that girl was talking about.
Yeah.
Which is such an interesting thing. That's a different type of culture completely.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
it's so like anti-abortion. It's interesting.
yeah, it's really
I don't know
interesting.
yeah.
I mean, because I wouldn't even say we were so anti-abortion, but we definitely weren't pro-abortion decades ago.
Yeah.
But now, at an exponential rate, you see minorities being affected, mostly in bigger cities like New York. I was talking with Owen, and he was quoting that statistic where the number of New York abortions for black babies is like above 50% or something like that.
Wow.
So that's crazy. But I am a Christian and I am a conservative, so I guess I'm just really out here supporting InfoWars, trying to get people to wake up a little bit and see that there are ideas that can actually be revolutionary. It's not going backwards, but going forwards as a species. Taking that next leap, like Alex talks about. Going to the stars.
Yeah.
Can't really go to the stars if we're, maybe killing the next genius, because we want to make abortions on demand part of our culture, and which is kind of what it's become, nowadays.
So why use a guy? I'm being devil's advocate.
Yeah.
As a guy, why are you pro-life?
As a guy, I'm pro-life because life
have
wouldn't
to
happen
care.
without guys.
High five. You're right.
You know what I mean?
You're right. I've been playing devil's advocate, but there are people that are just like, well, you're a man and you don't have to get pregnant and you can spread your seed and
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah,
Well,
blah.
no.
You don't have the
That's
right
what I
to-
meant too when I was younger. That the whole my body, my choice, and a man can't tell me what to do with my body argument definitely impacted me a lot. However, does that mean that a man can't be a lawmaker? Because that's what it has to mean. Because these are the men that are deciding what can happen to all our bodies. So, if we just break it down logically, men and women can understand what it's like to be the opposite sex in that respect, where they can understand the choices that might be more difficult for, say, a man to make or for a woman to make. I think a guy's from Planned Parenthood. How you doing, sir? I don't think he's doing too good. That's the guy who works for Planned Parenthood. He's like, I'm doing good, thanks. I wonder what he's doing. I hope he doesn't get my car towed. He probably can't. It's far away. I'm not parked over here. Anyway, sorry, he distracted me. But you see what I'm saying? Or actually, I forgot what I was saying.
We got distracted about the angry Planned Parenthood guy.
Yeah, that was
But
funny.
lawmakers, women, and men being able to.
Yeah, being able to understand, being able to, be involved with policy. It's important to have these discussions and not just say, you can't understand because of X, Y, Z. My experience. I even feel like that's happening. A lot of minorities say that to white people. You can't understand what it's like because I have darker skin than you. But if you have empathy and if you use it, correctly, then you can definitely be able to, be friends with all people in your community. Be able to understand how policy works and what's good and bad for everyone, not just, men or women. I think it's more even a thing that tries to divide and conquer us, because men and women definitely have got to come together to work together to go into the future, which is not something that we are really focused on right now. There's a big divide between men and women in our culture right now.
I love men though. Men are the bomb.
I love women. I love women.
I love
You know what I'm
women
saying?
too. But
Right.
I'm just saying,
I get what
love
you're
women,
saying.
it's like,
Yes.
I don't understand how they're women that just have this intense hatred of men. I don't get that. I think men are wonderful creatures, and I think women are wonderful creatures. But we're very different. And I appreciate both energies.
Yes.
And I think there is like that male energy is very different from the female energy. But like I said, I appreciate both the differences.
Definitely. And when we come together and we have that energy together, that's just going to be something way more beautiful, way more powerful.
It's yin and yang. It's the balance. It's the
Yeah.
ultimate balance.
Yeah. Oh man, Jordan Peterson was talking about that
All
yesterday.
right, don't bring that up.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. He
I
was
know,
great.
I'm just kidding.
I
I'm
feel like
just
I got a personal lecture from him. You know what I mean? It was good.
Isn't he gonna start like online classes?
I don't know.
Like I look at him and I'm like, God, like I wish I would have had a teacher like him in college.
Right.
But then there's part of me that's like, would I have been ready for a teacher like him?
Hey, that's a good point. That's a good point. I didn't finish college, but I definitely see people my age who did, and even though they have a degree under their belt, they have a void as far as their ability to really grasp reality. You know what I mean? On what's going on, dealing with Trump even. You know, they have Trump derangement syndrome, and that's like a real thing that at first was a joke, and now people are still crying about it. You know?
Crazy.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Roseanne? Did you hear about that?
Oh yeah. Well, okay. I'm a musician, so I can't get fired. Oh, fat! I gotta show you a song. I just made a song.
We'll talk after.
All right, I was up all night. So, it's in my truck. So, Roseanne. Okay.
I'll show you my. No, we'll talk after.
Okay. Right.
Let me
Right.
take a break after this.
So that's what I'm saying, because I can't get fired. So, bottom line, and InfoWars proved it. This lady's face does fit the character shape of like the style of Planet of the Apes.
No,
so it was,
she looks like the straight up 60s version.
Yeah,
she
right,
has like the,
right.
You know what it is?
It's
She has too much Botox.
Okay.
Or plastic surgery.
I see that.
Like it's not even like she looks
Right.
natural. You know what it is?
And they
It's
did
like
a meme.
Yeah, but
see
you know
it?
like how the 60s, I think this is what it is. You know how the 60s Planet of the Apes, they have the makeup? They use like a form of latex to get that monkey look, and they mix
Right.
it with the skin.
And they use it on everyone
Yeah,
to
so
make
I
it
think
similar.
when you have too much plastic surgery and your face is pulled back,
Yeah.
and you have Botox, it makes
Yeah.
your face look.
No.
She looks like that.
Exactly. And like, I know who Valerie Jarrett is.
I
I know
didn't listen to
about her. I know her background. I know her family background. So the joke was funny. It was funny when I saw it. I laughed.
I didn't know her, but I thought it was funny regardless.
Oh yeah, no, I know
I know
her.
Roseanne has a smart mouth, and I'm just
No, well
like,
that's why, because Roseanne's all about it, you know, doing some of that research. So she has that under her belt. So I got to give Roseanne props for that. As far as her being a conservative, I don't have anything. She's never claimed to be, and don't have anything to say about that. But as far as what she did, it's unfair. It's unfair the way that she's being treated when you compare her to Bill Maher, or when you compare her to Joy Reid, or when you compare her to Samantha Bee, or all these other people who say things, even
they say worse things.
worse things,
I've been
calling
told-
Trump, you know, and they try to make it a racist thing, but even calling Trump a monkey, the orange orangutan, all
But
the
you know,
time.
I think that was a scapegoat because she was
Right.
talking about George Soros.
And I didn't even, you know, I as much as I knew about Valerie Jarrett, I only knew of her Middle Eastern heritage because she's from Iran. I did not know. I didn't know that she was black or something like that, that she's part black, because, you know, she doesn't even...
Oh, really? She's
Yeah.
Iranian?
She's Iranian. That's her heritage. That's why she said it's a mix between the Muslim Brotherhood. Yeah, that's why she said that part first. The Muslim Brotherhood plus Planet of the Apes is Valerie Jarrett, but because the Botox, right?
Yeah.
But that's basically the whole thing. It's done, right? She's off ABC. But if you want my real honest opinion, I think every network wants to get her show. I think they're just waiting to see what the public like. They're trying to feel.
That's right. It could go to another network.
Oh yeah, she was
You
the
know
number
what's
one
so scary?
show.
You know what's really fucked up and scary about that? Is how quick everybody came out to like throw her under the bus and be like, oh, I'm just like, really, you guys, really? Like, I'm like, it's official. How is it fucking cool?
Yeah, because this is the number one show in America right now, and she gets fired over one tweet. Over one tweet. I mean, how many celebrities have gotten to keep their career? Alec Baldwin, you
Plus,
know.
hundreds of people are out of a job. It's their number one show. So I had to get off this Facebook thread because I was really livid, and I was very just like, you know, why would they cancel their number one show that
Right.
brings them money? Something is wrong here. Something is very wrong here.
Something's wrong. I don't know where they're going with this. They just basically are. They're pulling the rug out from themselves because they're trying to please people. I get that, but like I said, I think everybody is just trying to see where this is going. So let's see where it goes. That's really my only opinion on that. I had something else to say, but it flew out of my brain.
All right, cool.
All right,
Nice meeting you.
nice to meet you too. What was your name one more time?
Kirsty. YouTube mother guys. I'm out.